All right, this is a fascinating case here. A nursing student from Alabama, Carlee Russell, went missing on July 13th after reporting a lost toddler on the highway, wandering on the highway. She reported this to 911, but then she ended up returning home 2 days later. And after receiving, obviously, nationwide attention, now police are kind of saying she made the whole thing up. So she claimed that a man forced her into her car, took her to a home where she was allegedly undressed and photographed. They have been not only unable to verify her allegations, they've also not found any evidence of a lost child on the highway. And also they've found some peculiar search history. So I want to just kind of go through this chronologically. So I want to play while she's driving on I-459 in Alabama. She called 911, and this is what she had to say. Police played the call during yesterday's press conference. Here is her 911 call.
Hi, I am on Interstate 459, and there is a kid just walking by themselves.
Hold on. Where on 459 are you?
I'm right next to the exit 10 by the Pepper Med, like to get off by the Pepper Med.
Okay, so you're before the exit?
Now, traffic cameras spotted her driving on the shoulder of the highway with her flashing lights on and then kind of coming to a stop at the mile marker where she claims she was abducted. But you'll notice there's no toddler wandering the highway. Which, by the way, if I see a toddler wandering the highway, I don't call 911. I just get out of my car and go try to save a toddler wandering on the highway. I don't know. That's just me. OK, so then there was during the press conference, law enforcement were like, hey, her internet search history is pretty damning. I don't know. I'll let you be the judge. Watch.
Detectives continue analyzing data from Carlee's cell phone that was left behind at the scene. We enlisted the help of the United States Secret Service in conducting this analysis. Part of what data included several internet searches in the days leading up to her disappearance that I think are very relevant to this case. On July 11th at 7:30 a.m., the term, "You have to pay for an Amber Alert," was searched. On July 13th at 1:03 a.m., the day of her disappearance, the term, "How to take money from a register without being caught," was searched. On July 13th at 2:13 a.m., the day of her disappearance, the term Birmingham bus station was searched. On July 13th, 2:35 a.m., a search for a one-way bus ticket from Birmingham to Nashville was conducted with a departure date of July 13th. On July 13th at 12:10 p.m., a search for the movie Taken, a film about abduction, was conducted.
That's my favorite one. Okay, so we're laughing because it's just so, I mean, how stupid can you be that you're like, oh, they'll never catch this. I'm just going to search all of this stuff in my phone and then leave my phone at the scene and then expect that no one's going to go through this. No one's going to be like, wait, this doesn't add up. There's no lost child. None of this happened. And so apparently Carlee Russell is that stupid. So there was $63,000 in donations for reward money to find her that eventually was returned back to the donors after she reappeared. But filing a false police report in Alabama is a Class A misdemeanor with a penalty of up to 1 year in prison and a fine of $6,000. I don't know if that officially applies as like a police report when you make a 911 call, but the police chief did say that the family has stated to us right now in her mental state, because of trauma, she is not ready to talk. That is what we've been told. I'm not like, no. Get your ass in the police station and come talk to me about what happened.
Yeah, the police get to make that determination.
That's what I'm thinking.
That's how I understood how the law worked. It's fascinating. The internet search history is always so funny. I was just watching a video the other day of someone who they were just talking about how it was like how to murder someone, how to make a body not stink. How to like this happens all the time. As a attendee of CrimeCon, the true crime conference that goes all this stuff.
Have you really?
Oh yeah, it's fantastic.
Invite me next time.
Oh my gosh, you should totally come.
I want to.
It's a great time. But this happens all the time. They catch people all the time because people are in their own world. They just think anything they do on the internet is private. It shows how vulnerable we are to surveillance in so many different ways. But criminals do this crap all the time. They just Google it. I'm sure we're going to be getting Chat GPT logs of how they're talking. So should I go? Which hole do you think looks better to bury this body? Like, this is all coming in the future. It'll be funny. I sort of read some of the details of this, and like they said, she had gone. She said she was following a toddler, but she had gone 600 feet in a minute. It's like, how fast is this toddler? It's like Speedy Gonzalez. There you go, right behind you. Really amazing to see how fast this toddler could be and why they would get caught in the first place.
Right.
I've even read that they are speculating like she didn't want to go to work that day and that's why she did this. Which just apply for it. There's tons of jobs out there. Like, we're told the job market, it's amazing. Just get another job if you don't like the job that much. Criminals are not necessarily smart.
The brightest.
We see that in this case. I think it's fascinating though, because people go down these roads. It doesn't, like, you hear a story like that, it kind of is scary. Like when I heard the story initially, I thought to myself, gosh, that's actually a scary way to capture someone, because as you point out, your first instinct would not be to call 911. Right. It would be to get out and get the kid off the road. I mean, I've done that with animals. Right? Yep. Like, there's a turtle crossing your road. My wife's always out in the middle of the streets, like, trying to angle turtles. Like, they're probably a snapping turtle. Just stay away from the turtle. This happens to people all the time with animals. You don't call 911. If you saw a toddler, you'd shift them off to the road with your cell phone maybe, and then stand there and call with the toddler. Yeah. But it's scary because, like, if someone did that, you would run over and maybe you could get kidnapped. It was kind of a scary scenario. And then, of course, you find out. Just like most of these things, like the clown that's been hiding out in town, it's abducting people. They're almost never true.
I take issue with the fact that she's a nursing student, too. Like, I don't trust her to be a good nurse. If she's doing this to get out of work, you're like, oh, great. Go, inject people with stuff and be in charge of their medication. What could possibly go wrong? I really want to see charges here. It was female Jussie Smollett.
Yeah, no, you have to have charges for this stuff because people do this often. This happens more often than you think, and it's important to make sure that, besides just the getting people worked up and ruining their time to go look for this for her. I mean, it's the cost too. It's a massive cost to us to have an investigation like this.
I mean, imagine you're a police officer who spent a tireless evening searching for this girl. You're like putting all your effort into it. We got to find her. What is it? They say like the first 48 hours or whatever, the most important. You're like, oh my gosh. And they're working overtime to go find this chick. And then it turned out that she made it all up. I would be pissed.
Oh yeah.
I would be so pissed. Not just the cost, but just like the time and energy that I left my family to go search for you and you just wanted to bail from work? Screw you.
I really do hope that's the reason. I hope it's nothing more than that. I just hope that, look, at the end of the day, we're happy that there isn't a child with like an abductor somewhere. Like, I guess it's better than the alternative. But when you have people who do things like this that blatantly lie, they have to be punished. We should think about that when we're talking about the government, because it seems to happen an awful lot there and we just let it go. And what we see when we just let it go is that it just keeps happening over and over and over again. Maybe we should learn a lesson here.
The lesson is gulags.
If you like that clip, there is plenty more where that came from. Click the link in the description below to subscribe to the News and Why It Matters YouTube channel to watch the full episode.